Let us now consider the following example. We have the wave equation as above with c equal to 1, and we assume that the step size h and k are equal and equal to 0.2. Moreover, the initial deflection is given by f of x equal to sine pi x, and the initial velocity is 0. So we can now compute the values of u on the boundary here. The initial values in these 4 points. On all these points, u is of course 0, because that's the initial, not the initial but the boundary conditions, and also on these points. So starting with the point 1, 0, we have that it's sine to the x value multiplied with p. The x value is 0.2 because the step size in is equal to 0.2. That's the reason for this. And this can be calculated by some calculator. And similarly, if we find u20 equal to 0.95, u30, this point, this is f of 0.6, which is calculated similarly, and similarly we find this final point for 0, that u in this point is equal to 0.58. Moreover, we know that for all these points, in order to calculate these points, we have to use this formula. Recall the following. We proved the following formula for this row. So what does this row mean? This means that ui1, if we, for example, consider this point, then this value is computed by knowing the value in this point and in this point. The sum of the values in this point, and we just divide this value by 2 and add k multiplied with gi. So in our case now, g is 0, the initial velocity, so we only have this guy. So, okay, we have this expression, and by using this we can compute u11, this point, by just adding the values in these 2 points, which we know. We know that u is 0 here, and in this point we know that u is equal to 0.95. We just calculated this. So then we find this value, u11. Similarly, we find u21 in this point. The value here is the same as the value in this point and this point added together and divided by 2. And u31, this point, is given by the value in this point plus this point divided by 2. And finally, this value in this point is given by this value, the value in this point plus this point divided by 2. So now we know all the values in the nodes in this row. And when we have found the values in the first row, the second row, third row, fourth row, and so on is found easily by using this general discretization equation. So for the first row, we need this discretization, this equation, which is different from all the other rows. For example, if you want to calculate the value in this point, we use this formula and take the value in these 2 points and minus the value in this point, as we did earlier. And then we obtain the following value. Do exactly the same for all the other nodes in this row. We will find every value in the row, and then we start with the next row.